You forgot?
Hello babes, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. In today's video we will be discussing whether Regina George was that bad. Was she a victim or was she a villain? So let's get into it.
And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me? Boo, you whore.
Like most high schools, there is always a bully and a mean girl, whether public or private school. And what is a teen flick without a mean popular girl? Now, Regina George was the mean girl that everyone loved to hate. And you either hated her because you experienced a girl like her in school, or you loved her because you identified with her and thought she wasn't a monster but just misunderstood. And in today's video, I'll be diving into why Regina George wasn't as bad as people made her out to be. Now, there are some things I don't agree with and accept that Regina has done, like most people who watched Mean Girls. But upon rewatching Mean Girls as an adult, I realized Regina went from mean girl to victim. When we're introduced to Regina, we see her through the eyes of Janice, who still has a grudge against her from the 8th grade, who is also a mean girl, but we'll get to that in a bit. Janice gives Katie the rundown about Regina and warns her about the queen bee of the school. However, in the beginning, Katie has a positive interaction with Regina when she defends her from the creep that is Jason. When Katie tells Janice that she believes Regina is a sweet girl, Janice persuades Katie into believing that she is evil and that she must infiltrate the plastics and learn all of the ins and outs of what it is to be a plastic and break the group.
Regina seems sweet.
Regina George is not sweet. She's a scum-sucking road horse. She ruined my life.
Now, let's talk about Janice briefly. I was never really fond of Janice's character. The fact that she was friends with someone who she considered to be pure evil, but now has this vendetta against her, will never sit well with me. She had no issues with Regina and the way Regina treated people until it affected her. Also, to hang around someone you deem to be so horrible says a lot about your character, more so than it does the person you're friends with. Janice also saw Katie as the perfect pawn to use as revenge due to her being new to the school, and not only the school but the country, and saw her as the perfect prey in order to take Regina down. And just because you've been bullied before doesn't exempt you from becoming the bully yourself. Janice had this I can but you can't attitude. She was no different than Regina, except she believed she was better than Regina because she wasn't as popular. But if she had the popularity and power Regina had, she would have been way worse. And honestly, with the way that Janice was so stuck on trying to take Regina down, made me believe the story that Regina told about Janice becoming extremely obsessive over her and constantly hounding her to call her back and asking her where she was. But moving along to Regina. Like most girls in high school, there is always some sort of cattiness amongst girls, which I think some people forget is that these are 16-year-old girls who have access to things most 16-year-olds don't, like unlimited funds. I feel like Regina had to rush to grow up because she had a mother who could care less about being a parent and wanted to remain young, hip, and cool rather than being a mother and parenting her daughter. She basically was forced to grow up and parent herself. Her mother was so focused on losing her youth that she forgot about Regina and thought materialistic things could fill the void of her not having parents who acted as parents because they were too busy in their own world. And we see that cycle being repeated with her younger sister Kylie when they go to Regina's house after their trip from the mall. I feel like her unhealthy relationship with her mother made her hold some form of resentment towards other girls because she didn't have a healthy relationship with her mother, which is just as important as your relationship with your father. Regina practically had no guidance or authority in her life. She did whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, which is unhealthy for any teenager. There needs to be rules, regulation, and order in the household, especially when it comes to teenagers. Now, let's get to how Regina goes from villain to victim in the movie Mean Girls. So, the fact that Janice comes up with an entire plan to ruin Regina not only emotionally, but physically and mentally will never sit well with me. And the fact that she gets off scot-free in the movie and doesn't get reprimanded in any way is outrageous because she is the one who devised the plan. Granted, Regina was being catty towards Katie once she realized she had a thing for her ex-boyfriend and got back with him. However, I have an issue with friends dating each other's exes. I think it's weird and causes issues within a friend group. I mean, of all the people you could date, you choose a friend's ex. It's just always been weird to me. But whatever floats your boat, I guess. Moving along, the fact that Katie was so upset about a man that didn't even belong to her, so much so that she wanted to take Regina out, was unhinged. So sorry to say. Then they actually tried to poison this girl. I don't care if it was just to make her gain weight. It was a step away from poisoning her. No one knows if she had any allergies or any underlying health issues, so to give her these bars in order to cause her to gain weight so that she is no longer quote unquote hot, they honestly should have had charges pressed against them and was basically giving this girl an eating disorder. She was given these bars by someone who she believed to be a friend in order to lose weight. I believe Regina looked at Katie as a project she could take on because of the potential she saw in her. Now, don't get me wrong, Regina is a mean girl, but I believe towards the end of the movie, she became a victim due to what she had been put through, and it very well may be karma, but I do believe that what she was put through for middle school revenge that Janice had, and that Katie just wanted her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend so bad that she would do whatever it took to get him, was completely uncalled for, and again, as I said before, unhinged behavior. Now, all of the girls in the movie are mean girls, aside from Karen, who just minds her airheaded business. I also don't like the fact that the movie demonizes femininity, making the hyper feminine girls the mean girls. And Mean Girls is one of my favorite movies, but that's one part of the movie that I don't like. And if you would like a breakdown of this, Film Fatales actually did one on her channel, and I will leave that in the description box below. As you know, I state there are many ways to be feminine, but I love things pink, girly, extra, and flair because that's the way I express myself. But that doesn't make someone an airhead, vain, or shallow because of that. It's just something that I've always loved and others always love, and they like getting dressed up, and being girly makes them happy. And if someone doing those things that make you feel some type of way or unsettled, you might want to get some help or some therapy, because those things shouldn't bother you or shouldn't cause any harm to you, especially if the person doesn't even know you and they're minding their business. Why are you giving a person who doesn't even know you so much hate because they're feminine and they're girly? Now, I can see if someone is forcing that on you and then you have some type of issue with it, but if it's not being forced on you, why do you care? Regina may have been a mean girl, but that doesn't take away from the fact that she had become a victim. She wasn't as harsh as we've seen from mean girls in past movies. Like Courtney in Jailbreakers, my goodness, that girl was pure evil. She was beyond evil. I feel like Regina became sort of the motherly figure she wanted from her own mother within her own friend group. She told them what they should and shouldn't do and what was acceptable and what was not. I do believe she thought in some way she was helping the girls out, but she didn't have a representation of what a healthy relationship between girls look like and how you treat other women and friends, because her mother seemed to have been in competition with her daughter. Maybe not so directly in your face, but the fact that she wants to hang with her friends, get plastic surgery to keep a youthful look to herself, made me believe she saw her daughter as competition and had to keep up with her. And that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked. Share your thoughts below. Let me know if you thought that Regina was a villain or a victim. I will catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.